think of different leadership styles, we don't think of life and death situations. However, the movie Crimson Tide shows that different leadership styles could lead to a nuclear war. My name's Emma Davis, and today I'll be talking with you about the different leadership and followership styles in the movie Crimson Tide. I'll also be telling you about which leadership style I would like to emulate. Just as a reminder, the situational leadership model has two parts: development of the follower and leadership style of the leader. The development style, or the development level of the follower, is D1 through D4. D1 is a follower who's never done the task before, but they're really enthusiastic and have high commitment. D2 is a follower who's starting to learn how to do the task, but it's turning out to be harder than they expected, so they don't have as much commitment. D3 is a follower who has done the task a few times, but they're not really confident in their ability yet, so they have low commitment. Finally, D4 is a follower who has done the task many times and is really confident in their ability. Now, each follower level has a corresponding leadership style, and it's really important that you match these in order to get the best results. The leadership styles are based on different directive and supportive behaviors. Now, directive behaviors can include giving orders, showing people what to do, telling them how to do it, when, giving direction on how, and providing feedback on results. Supportive behaviors can include listening, allowing for problem solving, encouraging, praising, and involving others in the decision making. Now, Captain Ramsey was the captain of the nuclear submarine in the movie Crimson Tide. He didn't have a family, he only had a dog, and this dog went everywhere with him and was in all of his photos. Ramsey's main focus was on supporting the United States, and his legacy is his military career. In one of the first scenes, when Ramsey is leading his crew, they're all out in the rain and they're waiting to board the USS Alabama. He sets a vision for the crew, but that's about all he does. He doesn't support them in any way. And this is an example of S4 leadership: low support and low direction. In another scene, there's a fire emergency, but Ramsey calls for an EAM drill. And during this, he doesn't listen to Hunter's opinion at all, and he doesn't even praise his crew. In fact, he tells them that they should have done better. This is, again, an example of S4 leadership. And finally, Ramsey addresses the crew about morale over the intercom. He tells them that if they can't handle the stress of the ship, they should just leave. It's obvious he doesn't care about their opinion at all. And yet another example of S4 leadership. In contrast, XO Hunter does have a family and friends outside of the submarine. His legacy is his family, and his focus is more on humanity, not just the United States, like Captain Ramsey. In one of the first scenes, he's telling his son to take care of the dog when he's away, and he knows his son is capable of this, but he's also providing encouragement, and this is an example of S3 leadership. In another scene, during the fire emergency, he jumps in and helps his crew fight the fire. This is an example of S2 leadership because he's showing them what to do while also supporting them by helping them do it. And finally, he gives 2 pep talks to the man repairing the radio. The first time, it seems it's exactly what the man needed. He is not confident at all in his ability to solve it, but Hunter supports him, and that's what he needed. He even calls him Scotty from Star Trek to encourage him. The second time, though, Hunter was still demonstrating S3 leadership, but what the man needed was S4 leadership. He needed to be left alone in order to focus on fixing the radio without interruption. And this is obvious when he hangs up the phone on Hunter. Now, moving on to followership styles. Kelly's followership model shows 5 different kinds of followers based on critical thinking and active and passive behaviors. For example, I believe the Cobb was a conformist follower because he was active in following the rules, but he didn't really demonstrate any critical thinking. He arrested the captain just because he broke the rules, even though he might not have wanted to do this. Another example is the weapons officer. I believe he was an exemplary follower because he was active and also demonstrated critical thinking. At one point, Captain Ramsey had a gun to his head, and he still wouldn't open the safe because he knew it was wrong. And finally, the leadership style that I want to emulate. Well, Captain Ramsey and XO Hunter both demonstrated different leadership styles. However, they didn't demonstrate situational leadership. Situational leadership means you change your leadership style based on your followers' readiness level. Both Hunter and Ramsey kind of stuck to the same leadership style, no matter the situation or who their follower was. So as a leader, I would not want to do that. I would want to change my style based on my follower and the situation. So today I talked with you all about the different leadership styles and followership styles in Crimson Tide. I hope you learned a little about situational leadership. Are there any questions?
Whose leadership style is better, Hunter's or Ramsey's?
Well, I would say, well, both and neither. It really depends on the situation. In one of the last scenes, they were told that they were both right and both wrong. Their leadership styles just weren't working together. Thank you.